With one tap, you're in. Only on Tap In Radio.
Turn up the bass.
You're now listening. Yo, Tap In Radio.
Hello. Hey. I had to turn the mic on.
What do you want to do? Like, yeah. Hello.
So happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
We're back on our regular day. No. I mean, we are back on our regular shit. Like that has not gone anywhere. But hey guys, thanks for tuning in with us here in the Teachers Lounge here on Tap In Radio. I am Jay, and this is
Key. Have an M&M. You want an M&M?
okay. You go ahead and enjoy it. You go ahead.
Like the kids today, like what M&M?
M&M? You sure?
No, I'm good.
Hi everyone.
So what's going on? How was your day?
Boring? It's always boring. You know, kids turning in assignments at the last minute.
Oh.
That's about to be me now.
Oh.
I'm back in school.
Yeah, well,
You back in school?
We about to talk so much shit about you.
Why? Like, why?
Why?
What are you going back for?
Literature, art, and communication. Basically, what I should have went for the beginning.
Wait, so you're going for a full-blown bachelor's?
Associates.
Oh, associates, okay.
Associates. And then while I'm taking, it's going to be like minor class and marketing and stuff. Like, I'm going full all out.
I'm currently teaching marketing.
So you can get a tutor. You get a tutor.
You gonna do my work? No, you ain't gonna do my work. You ain't gonna do the professor's work and my work.
I mean, you'll be his. Well, I don't know. I don't know how to work that out, but y'all can
There's nothing to work out.
coordinate that if need be.
Good for you. Where you going? Oh, okay. I took a few classes here.
I like the sound of that music. It's so relaxing. So today's episode, I just feel like
So anyway,
it's like WJJZ. So today's episode is Type A. So we're going to explore, as Bam already opened the door to, the kinds of students that we have encountered or we're continuing to encounter in the midst of this pandemic. And it's just a different beast in itself.
Yep.
I don't know what's happening in other districts, but the marking cycle will be closing on Friday, the 29th. Oh, your marking cycle closed today. Yeah.
They'll get their report cards on Friday.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah. Y'all played no games. Y'all had to have the grades in by like 12 or 3. Yeah. So we're going to get into the kinds of students that we have encountered, the kinds of students who we were, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I even posted. I put a post up with the different type of students you might encounter in your educational career. So let's start with the jock.
Okay.
I've met a few jocks.
Okay.
They're full of shit.
Okay.
Again,
I love the spice.
my opinions and experiences are my own.
Yes.
I do not represent my school district, her school district,
Nobody's district.
at all.
At
So
all.
these are our own experiences. Aw,
Green M&M didn't like you talking shit about the jocks.
I'm telling you, I got another one.
It's like Green M&M was like, also you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead.
Jocks.
What's been your experience?
Can they do anything else?
Besides, like...
Jock. Like, it's all they talk about.
Well,
It's all they write about.
it's what they know. It's what they know. And
But they should know more.
see, the other side of that is, for the students that I have that are only jocks, right? Because I've had a few, and it's just like all they know is basketball or football. Those were like the top two. Some of them were track, but you really find like a track jock.
Well, and depending on the district, you might have the soccer jocks, because you know it's a big deal.
baseball jocks, soccer jocks, baseball jocks, soccer jocks.
You know how much stamina it takes to play soccer? Like they took.
Cause y'all don't like they don't get the varsity jacket. They don't get the same like caliber of cool as the other sports do. But yeah, so in my interaction with some of those students, I try to, cause I ask them like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And it's like, oh, I want to play professional football.
And
like,
don't ask them what their plan B is.
They're playing.
They don't have.
They don't have a
They
plan.
never
Most
have
of
a
the time.
plan B.
Most of the time. So, but this is where like counselor plugs come into play, right?
They never believe that they are not going to get picked up. They never believe that an injury can occur.
Oh my god.
They never think outside of that career.
So this is where we come into play. So it's like, okay, well, I want to go into athletics, right? Like, well, have you thought about being a coach? No, I never thought about a coach. Like, okay, like I want to go to sports medicine. Okay, so have you thought about like all of these other realms? Because you know this sport, right? Yeah, I know sport really well. You ever thought about journalism? Oh no, I never thought about journalism. I never thought about this. It's like there's more, and I try to get them to see that there's more to the sport than the actual
playing
sport, right? So it's just like, okay, like, all right, well, we got to get your reading and writing skills up a bit so you can bring more to the table than just your body, because I have a whole like thing with that, and it's like it reminds me of slavery, blah blah blah. But I'm not gonna get into that. Moving on. Who's our next student?
The functional one.
Explain that one.
I have no idea. It looks like the functional one is adaptable
Okay.
to any situation. Laptops stop working, they don't freak out. They figure a workaround. Not a lot of functional students.
So is that the one that already has the application completed and there's like, I just need your signature here? Like,
That or who will handwrite it if they have to, just to get it submitted.
yeah.
The functional one.
Okay.
These are a dime a dozen.
Yeah. Those are the ones you wish you had more of, right? Like they're always the sweetheart.
Yep, and they already know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
They already have it mapped
Yeah.
out. It's really pointless talking to them because they're like, no, I've already thought about that.
Yeah. Yes. Like, oh, I have that scholarship filled out already.
Yeah.
TT said he loved y'all show.
Aww.
Hi, TT.
Hey. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
So yeah, the functional one is like there's no guidance there. They already did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also are the ones who will smirk at the kids who don't know what they're doing with themselves.
Oh,
They'll be like,
our hierarchy.
they'll be like,
It's like, okay, and this is why you're in basic level reading. and it goes over their head, though. It goes over their head. Okay, who's
right.
next?
So the functional one, the pretty boy who don't give a.
You say it.
Who don't give a what?
Okay, nice save.
The pretty boys.
The cute
So
ones.
these are usually ones who have little girls doing their work for them, or the pretty girls who have little boys doing their work for them.
Just real quick, touch base what y'all talking about for the people y'all
Ah.
might also.
Oh,
We are talking about the different types of students that we encounter in school, and what our experience has been.
the
working with
personalities.
them. Yes, these
Yeah.
personalities. So now we're talking about the pretty boy or the pretty girl who
Yeah.
literally gets by off their looks, and for some reason think it's going to work on their teachers.
Well, it do work on some of the teachers.
Well, I
though.
guess.
I've seen it.
No.
I've seen it.
It don't work on me.
I've seen it. I've seen it in action where it's
I don't
just
care how
like,
pretty you are.
oh, or they play like a baby squirrel. Not even like.
Ew, a baby squirrel?
Have you not seen
I
how cute a baby squirrel is?
I actually got a new one.
Okay.
So like I said, I started back in school on Monday.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. But literally, and my
Please don't sleep with your professors.
No, I don't. My
Your-
screen
your-
screen is on.
Your step teachers.
No. Oh, so my public speaking class. So my professor is like, I want to see everybody. So one dude was like, my dog chewed on my laptop. So we all on a Zoom meeting like, yo, he ain't serious, is he?
Like, you lying like shit.
But he took a picture and sent it in our class group email that we all in. He wasn't lying. The dog really bit the top of his laptop. But the professor was like, out of my 50-something years on this earth, I never heard that.
I've never seen a dog attack.
But it did. It really had holes by the little camera part. He showed us. It was like, oh, he was serious.
Oh, he knew what he was doing. That dog knew what he was doing.
So
He probably put peanut butter up there so the dog can
peanut
bite
butter.
it.
Yep.
Dogs like peanut butter?
They also know what distracts you, and they know how to break the things that distract you, so you give more attention to them.
Yeah, I definitely gonna be that student that do some things at the last minute. I ain't gonna front.
Oh, we haven't gotten to that student yet. We haven't gotten to the student yet. Yeah, so we're talking about the pretty ones.
Yeah,
who
the
uses
ones
their
that
looks
they get
to
by.
think they can get extra.
Oh, that could be me
time.
too. I use my looks to get by.
Well, yeah, you had step teachers, so
Yeah, that might have worked.
If y'all don't know, that was a segment that we talked about in the
Lord.
beginning of last year. I would touch bases back that on a more appropriate show, because that show got real wild.
it did.
I will
It did.
explain to y'all what that means later.
Yes, step teachers. So, but yeah, so with that, they get by with being cute or like, oh, I'm sorry, and I find that these students are like handsy. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, like, please don't touch me. Like, don't touch me. But some people are okay with that.
The pretty ones get a very rude awakening when they run into a teacher who's just like,
Not impressed.
"Aww."
When they run into you.
So, are you gonna turn this in at 3:00
You.
or
You.
I'm not beat.
You.
I'm not beat.
You.
I'm
Some
not
of
beat.
y'all have pretty kids out there and they work and they bat and they
Okay, but there's
eyelashes and
right.
all that
I mean,
good stuff.
there's the pretty kid jock. There's the pretty kid functional. There's a pretty functional one, and there's
you
just
know
the
what?
pretty kid who just thinks I'm cute.
Right.
Like, why aren't you falling for
And
it?
you know what?
Like,
can I just, like, I feel like I'm in a Zoom now. Can I just piggyback off of that for 1
Yes.
second? So that becomes the parent who thinks they're cute
oh,
and they sit across from you and they're just like, or they try to, I've seen it in my last district, they're like trying to flirt with the principal. My principal was a male.
I've seen that.
And they're like trying to like, oh hey, like my boobs aren't big
like,
enough to do it, but
oh,
like,
Mr.
oh,
Such and Such, you know me. You know I don't play that.
uh,
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Like eyelashes and all that stuff, and it's just like, oh wow, you up here trying to seduce
The
your
principal.
kid's principal for an A.
Wow.
How far would you go to make sure that A gets like in there?
How far would you go?
Or how
far
low would you go?
How low would you go?
Oh.
How low would you go?
No.
So, pretty kids.
And pretty parents.
When you run into that one teacher who is unbothered and that principal who is unbothered, you better have another plan. And it better involve actually getting your work on.
We had a substitute day on Thursday. That's why we were there.
Yeah.
But our day is Wednesday. Wednesdays, 7 to 8 p.m. on Tap In Radio.
Shout out to Tapin Radio.
Yes.
All right, so the overwhelmed one.
Oh, God. I can't stand that kid. And I'm just not to say I don't like them,
overwhelmed kid
but they make me anxious.
who is overwhelmed by every minute thing. If their chair is not at their desk, they can't figure out how to find it or get another one or maybe even sit someplace else. They are
They can't do that.
they are
can't do that.
overwhelmed.
They can't do it.
They can't handle it.
No.
And they need stress passes and they need frequent breaks and they need to go see their guidance counselor like
All the
all the time.
all the time. It's
All
just
the
like,
time.
what is really like? I know something is wrong with you. That is clear. But it's just like,
I'm like overwhelmed.
it's like I just can't. I can't be on camera. Because they're going to look at me and they're going to think, they don't know you, nor do they care about you.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. But you can't say that because that comes across as being insensitive.
Exactly.
So it's just like, okay, like, all right, so let's sit here and have this 30-minute conversation about
whatever.
And we're going
I
to
had a
send you
student
back.
like that who she was the only person, the only female in my group, that particular class I had. And she was just like, I'm so nervous. I'm the only girl in the class. And I'm like, what do you think? They're just going to be sitting there looking at you on the Zoom like,
You ain't that cute. You ain't that cute.
you ain't everybody's type, sweetie.
No.
you ain't everybody.
You
ain't even the right type for some of them, so.
Oh, like that one, my 600-pound life, when she was like, you ain't no prize.
The way they be going off on Doctor now is ridiculous, and he is unbothered. He'd be like, well, I know you're not eating right because if you were eating right, you would have lost the weight. So you're probably don't be talking to me like I'm not doing. I'm
like,
trying
well,
to
you're
help
not.
you. Yeah, it's
like you're not.
I'm trying to help you, and you're overeating. You're eating like 7,000 calories a day. He'll go off on them for like 20 minutes till they just succeed and say, "You're right."
It's like, I know.
You're right.
I know.
You're right. He was like, okay, so I'm going to send you back home and you do it again.
You're going to do some more things I asked you to do. Or
and
not.
that's it. And that's it. Like, the overwhelmed kid would not be able to deal with that. Like, just wouldn't be able to deal. Like, well, the due date says, and I don't have the due date. And
Right. And as I've found, the overwhelmed student typically piles up their work, right? So like they get their time management and their ability to stay on task is really limited.
Very.
So like if you give them an assignment, so like asynchronous and synchronous work, so the work you're doing in class and the work you're doing at home, it's like, okay, well, here's the work you need to do. They'll do the work in the now, right? But they won't do the work later.
Right.
And it'll just become like from a snowflake to a snowball. And now they're anxious because they didn't do the work that they were supposed to do or didn't ask for assistance, and it just becomes like this never-ending cycle. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't do the work because I didn't understand it. Well, did you talk to your teacher? Did you ask your teacher inside the Zoom, or did you send them an email? No, I didn't know. I didn't. So do you think your teacher's gonna curse at you? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
I don't know what they think is actually going to happen. That's usually the last resort. Me yelling at you.
Yeah, and how many steps do you have to get
before
to that
I yell
point?
at you?
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
and I generally only yell if you're being disrespectful.
Right.
Like,
You're cool.
I mean, if you're just a quiet kid who doesn't do their work, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm just gonna be like, what are you doing?
No, like we're here to help.
Right.
And
But if you want to
that's
pop
the
off,
bulk
I
of
will
it.
pop off. But generally, you know,
Emails be
so.
spicy.
But the overwhelmed kid needs a lot of support, and
Yeah.
they drive us crazy.
Right. But
Generally,
it's
they drive
only
us
because as we both know, it's a management style. So like parents, if you found or you're finding that your kid is becoming overwhelmed, help to advocate for them, and that comes through the sense of reaching out to their teacher and letting them know, like letting the teacher know what you're seeing on your end. So it's like, okay, well, I see that Jada is sitting at the computer, and when it comes time to do the work, she just goes blank. And asking the student, like, well, what's wrong? They're not gonna say that. But like, if you can help to advocate with them or for them, either reaching out to their teacher in that subject or reaching out to their counselor.
And another good thing is, if your kid's not social, like, you know, make a friend, work with a partner. It takes some of the stress off of them, but they're not socializing, which also compounds, because if they could just sit with somebody and catch up on their work, that could be helpful for them too. So they're pretty isolated, overwhelmed students.
Peer tutoring is another helpful resource that we found to be successful too. Having a peer tutor or a peer group.
All right, so get them in something. They need friends or associates or something. But they need to stop coming to us. I can't be a therapist. These kids they are too overwhelmed. Like they want a therapist.
It's high energy. It's high energy. But like we said, just help help to advocate for your student if you're noticing that they're like,
Right.
I don't know what to do. Da, da, da. And you're looking at them like, you've been on the computer. Why you not doing the work? Chances are they don't understand what's happening, and they waited too late to do this on this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next. The book hoarder. This can be any one of these kids that we just mentioned. They generally have books from the year before and the year before, and they owe overdue library books.
Yes, the fine.
They can't graduate
The fine. Yo.
because they have all these book
That
fines.
book fine be real at the end of the year, especially for the
Yep.
seniors, because they can't get their
Yep.
cap and gown. The screen went off. Damn.
Yeah.
They can't get their cap and gown.
Right.
So it's just like,
Why do you have a chemistry book from freshman year? Like, it's like the book hoarder, and then they're like, you don't want to see their lockers. You do not want to see their lockers.
if they have a locker.
But yeah,
If they have a locker, chances are their lockers are shared with their friends.
Probably.
So it's their friend's locker.
but I don't know what they do with these books, and we're not talking about workbooks. We're talking about full on
Like
400-page
books.
How did you?
And at that it's like, yo, you have the book for this class? Yes. So why are you not doing chapter 4 then? Oh, because the book was in my locker. Why you didn't bring it home? Because I don't have a book bag. I don't know. I don't like, and I'm not coming, because some parents or some student circumstances, they don't have book bags.
But there are literally
But it's
book
like-
bag drives.
No, but it's the ones who have.
What
Wow.
the hell?
Wow. Sorry about that. It was like super loud. My bad, y'all.
That shit sound like a trouble.
It did.
I was like, yo, I thought somebody about to hit the bell. See, that shit must
I
be
thought that was
trouble.
the government tapping in,
Like,
like,
yeah.
hey.
That's enough. That's enough.
We hear what you're talking about, and we don't like
We're
it.
not buying it in office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the book hoarder, but
Yeah.
and their fines are insane.
Insane. And it's just like, well, where is To Kill a Mockingbird from
I mean,
like 3rd grade?
At this point, you could have bought another book and
Yeah.
just gave it to the teacher
Yeah, because the fine would be like $75. It's like, yeah, I lost a Chromebook.
for a $12
What?
book. Yes.
What?
They lose whole Chromebook, whole Chromebooks.
Yes, like, okay. Or the band instruments that they were supposed to give back.
How do you lose a drum?
Oh, they lose it.
They
They lose it.
a whole
Yeah.
drum.
Like,
What
yeah.
did you just put it down at McDonald's
I
real
didn't
quick?
bring
and
I didn't bring back my uniform from either football, basketball, track,
Yes.
or I didn't bring my band uniform back. It's like, what are you doing with a band uniform? Like, after band is done.
And even after you've washed all your clothes, you will notice the band. This is not something we wear regularly. It's extravagant.
Yo,
It is the
has
most-
sequins,
Yes.
straps. Why do you still have it? Holding on to the past. I don't know.
And so so the book hoarder, and they generally hoard a lot of other
Yeah,
stuff.
and
so.
then the parents, y'all the ones that gotta come up there and pay that fine
Yep.
at the last minute because y'all didn't know it was there. This is like, how much is it? It's $50. $50.
Yes. Now,
Hey.
mind you, this has rolled over since freshman
For,
year.
no, some of them are from like elementary school.
If you're in the same district, yep,
Yes.
that fine.
It's like,
They'll
yes.
keep that fine there till you try to get that cap and gown.
Hell
and they're
yes.
like,
Hell yes.
well, let me slide you this receipt.
Yes,
first,
and
'cause,
like my old librarian, he was the bookie, whatever. It's like, oh, you gotta find, because you can see it on Genesis.
Yeah.
It's a little dollar sign.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you
It's
gotta
on
find
real
on your
time, too.
account.
Yep.
He's like, you gotta find on your account. Like, I gotta find. Yep, you gotta find. Go see what that's about before I can do anything.
Yep.
You know, and they'll go and they're like, that's from a book from 2nd grade.
well, you better go find Dr. Seuss's
Yes, yes. Go find that cat in the
Green
hat.
Egg and Ham and
Hey, go ahead and pay that fine.
go on Barnes and Nobles and
Go
buy
ahead,
it and
pay
bring
that
back
fine.
something, but you
Go
gotta
pay
do
the-
something.
It's like, what? Like, what? Like, hey, you want this cap and gown or not?
That's all it is. So yeah, the hoarder. All right. The cheater.
Yo. Yo.
The cheater. Now, through my 11 years, I have seen some of the dumbest cheaters. And when I'm dumb, I mean just their methods. And I have seen some very sophisticated cheating. But I've never seen anybody who has successfully cheated, because then you have the one who, for some reason, copies their friend's work verbatim. Like
Verbatim.
The same spelling errors? Like,
Same
you
thing.
couldn't even be bothered to correct
Like,
the
they
spelling
just
errors off the
literally
text you're
copied
cheating off? Yeah.
And pasted it. Yes. Yeah.
I have seen the ones who'll just like, when they do this? Like, the hand over the eye is older than Medusa. So that one doesn't work. But they'll try it. They'll try that. They'll try that one. They'll try that one.
So, you know, I'm not in the classroom. So I wasn't hip to all of the apps that are present. And my, like, one teacher, he came in my office. He's like, I need to have a conference with you. And, like, let's say the student's name is Dave. Clearly, his name is not Dave. So it's like, I need to have a conference with you and Dave. Okay. All right. But like, what are we conferencing about?
Yeah, what do you want?
He gets in there, he's just like, I know that you got that answer from whatever this math app is, because the math app will like show how to do it, and that's not the way that
He taught you
how to do it. And he's just like, I know you got it from, we'll call it like math app or whatever. I know you got it from there. And the kid is like, I didn't get it from there. And he's like, no, you did. This is in my office. My office is about.
So you didn't even really need to be there.
I don't need to bear witness to this shit because I don't know what's happening. You know?
I mean, I've had a student do that. She verbatim
like
copied somebody else's code off the internet and submitted it. And it was so funny, we hadn't even gotten to some of the things that she put in there.
Exactly.
I was like, I haven't even taught arrays and functions. How did you know how to do this? And she looked at me like, I was like, no, seriously, can you explain this program to us? And of course she couldn't, because she copied it. I'm like,
because you're a cheater.
I mean,
Cheater.
she couldn't even be bothered to change the names of things in it. Like, if you're going to save time and cheat off of somebody else, at least switch up the names and all that other stuff. Like,
add your own little razzmatazz.
Nope.
Just like with a book report.
Right.
Just like with a book report. You know that sentence, you have to remix it to make it your own. So
Yes,
you
you
can't
do.
like plagiarize.
Throw some misspellings in there.
Of
Throw the
your
teacher
own.
off.
You're
Right.
unique. Like, okay.
You submitting a report to me with no errors?
Come on now. Oh, that's like the. Okay, so when I taught.
Parents went over it so well.
Oh, and that's another.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
the.
But I said, if your parents are gonna do your work, if you're gonna do the students' work, turn it on time, please.
Don't do their work. That's number one.
I can't. I have
Don't.
neither the
Don't.
power, strength, or
Don't
wherewithal
do
to try
your
to figure
kids'
out
work. Don't do your kids' work.
whom is doing their child's work. But I know this. If you're gonna do their work, you still need to turn it in on time, or
Man.
you'll lose points. So,
Man.
if you're wondering why you did your child's program or
Y'all
report
still
and
failed.
you got a 0.5% from me, because you turned it in late, okay? So, you and your child need to figure
don't do
out
your
your,
kids'
if y'all gonna cheat, y'all not planning right.
Don't do it.
Y'all just not planning right.
It's just a setup. Like, well, let me ask y'all. Have y'all ever cheated, like in school? Have you
Yes.
ever cheated?
Yeah.
You cheated?
Yeah.
Cheated? Yeah. I cheated one time and got caught. the one time.
The first time you tried to do
The
it.
first time I got caught like shit.
Wow.
And I was just like, so like 6th grade, never forget it. Was in there doing my thing. I was like, I'm gonna just do this. And he was like, I see you cheating. Like, cut it out, you're cheating. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever, you caught me. Blah. So then somebody else cheated. And the class blamed it on me. They was like, oh, Jada, you ain't cheating. I was like, I only cheated the one time. And I got caught.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I had somebody cheat off my paper. I didn't think she was gonna copy it verbatim. She copied it verbatim.
Oh.
And then we both got an F. And I was like, well, hold up. Wait a minute.
Mine is the original.
Exactly.
This is the copy.
Hold up. That ain't right. That's not right. I didn't think she was going to copy it word for word. And the English teacher was like, well, I can't figure out. I'm telling you, she copied mine.
This is the original, okay?
Well, you shouldn't have let her cheat. I was like, I wasn't trying to let her cheat. I was trying to let her see what we were working on, so she knew what to work off of. So
A guide is
I
one
never.
they say.
After that, I ain't never shared or helped nobody. Like, you copied my paper word for word.
No originality.
Word for word.
Yeah. Minus your name.
Mine, and that's it. So,
Yeah.
yes, the cheater gets everybody in trouble. Everybody gets in trouble when the cheaters involved.
Yeah.
I have seen, like I said, I've seen some sophisticated cheating. I've seen some ballsy, ballsy cheating, and I'm like, I don't know how many times I could tell these children, I have control over your screens, and I can see what you're doing, right? So, yeah, the cheater. I don't know. Maybe y'all need to start a cheaters club and figure out how to do it better.
I mean, the resources are out there.
I mean, yeah, they are. But the cheaters. I mean, they'll never go away. But
Yeah. So they go in the same category as plagiarizers.
Yeah,
right?
the
plagiarizers, and like that's a hard pill for high school age students to understand, like plagiarism, and like it's like, hey, listen, don't plagiarize. That's not okay. And it's like, oh, I can do it. And then when they get hit with the like, you plagiarize this, you're getting the F. I don't understand why I got an F.
yeah.
Because you copied and pasted it from Google.
And you didn't cite
Your
resource.
source. Come on.
Like, and it's not hard to cite. Even if you threw it in a footer, you're still giving some credit.
We're not asking for APA
Right.
format. MLA still stands, so it's just like, yo, just hit it off with the reference.
They will copy, and then like they'll write something so eloquently, and I'm like, you don't even
You
talk.
don't even
You don't even talk like this.
You don't, like, I've never heard you use
Like,
this word.
Ever.
Ever.
I don't even use this word.
Thank you.
And they're using words like
No.
effervescent.
Or thus.
What?
Thus. You never use thus. Ever.
Ever.
I can't even spell that.
Ever.
What you just said.
They don't even effervescent.
I can't even fucking spell it.
I'm like, now all of a sudden
And
you
you
know the
using it,
difference
though.
between a colon and a semicolon?
Oh, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out. You don't know punctuation.
At all.
No.
At all. I'm like, now you're using commas and,
Get outta
and
here.
quotation marks
Get outta here.
appropriately.
Get out of here.
So yeah, they're using SAT words that I have never.
Yeah,
So-
I've seen it. I had an ESL student, ESL, and like no shade to the ESL community, but I knew his level of like work,
Absolutely.
and so I read one of his assignments, and I'm like, ain't no way in hell, ain't no way he wrote this, like no way, like you were saying, he was given in one sentence. You've been
You can
given
tell
in
in one sentence. I was
one
like,
sentence.
especially the cliche writer who throws a cliche in every paragraph.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden your first of all, your thesis, you actually have a thesis. Do you know how hard I struggle to try to get kids to understand thesis? And I'm not even an English teacher.
William Shakespeare out here?
Like,
No.
like your opening statement, you actually typed an opening statement? Usually they just start talking like,
No introduction.
Romeo ain't had no business
First of all,
sneaking in Juliet's room.
Can we talk? Okay, so
What's wrong with that?
yo,
Exactly.
Straight to the point.
But I'm just saying, you go from that to William Shakespeare was born in
yes. So just
Because we know it's about to be the third market period. We trying to
Nah.
I'm speaking Atlanta.
And now, but here's the issue with that. Seniors, you go hard first and second cycle, and you get high grades first and second cycle. That way, third and fourth cycles, you can not slack off, but if you get like a C, third and fourth cycle, it's not going to affect you so bad if you got high marks in first and second cycle. But no, these seniors want to slack first cycle, second cycle, middle of third cycle, and then want to get it together at the end of third cycle and fourth cycle when they realize, what you mean I'm not going?
Third cycle short as hell.
yes, it
It
is.
is.
Yes, it
That's
is.
like 2 months only.
That's it. That's it.
It is.
That's
And
it.
What do you mean I'm not going to graduate?
Like yo, like
I mean, you're going to summer school. So,
girl.
Oh, and also the school's not offering summer school, so you gotta go somewhere else.
Eduseer.
Yeah. I had to do it all online.
No.
So yeah,
it's an interesting dynamic.
it is.
Especially, it's just like, oh no, I'm gonna pull it together. When? Because you're averaging like a 50 in this one class and a hard 4 in the other class.
4.
Like
How do you have a
4?
4?
A 4.
And I have students who have a 4.
4. 1, 2, 3,
4.
4.
And I actually tried to go find the assignment that gave them the 4. I was like, because at this point I might as well just give it a 0 because this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would rather a student have a 0 than a 4. Or like a 2.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
And
just
they
get the 0.
And it's probably because they did some sort of group assignment and they didn't do the group assignment. The group did the assignment, but they still got credit.
Group assignments. We haven't touched upon that. Like,
That is
that.
the funniest. Your students really get to know each other during group assignments. They will say things about their partners that you never thought they would say.
Yeah.
Friends who was like this,
Yo.
you put them in a group.
It's like living with someone. You know what I mean? Like a group assignment is like living like
Yeah, it's
I
like the
didn't
real
know.
world. It's
Yeah,
like the
it's
real
like the real world.
It is.
Exactly.
They're like, I didn't put such and such's name on this because
they
didn't do their part.
They didn't come to the group meeting. Blah blah blah. It's like
She didn't do her slides.
No.
So
Nope.
and I'm
Kicked
like,
her
wait a
out
minute,
of the group.
yeah.
Kicked
I was
her
like,
out.
well, why didn't you tell me the minute you noticed that your partner wasn't doing their work?
She know.
Well,
She know.
we thought she was going to get it
She
together,
know.
and she didn't.
Yeah, it's a democracy.
So it turns ugly.
It turns really ugly.
turns ugly. And
It
when I
turns
say
ugly.
people jump groups, like, I don't work well with these people.
but
Excuse me?
in
Excuse
the
me?
same token, like the ones who like we don't want you in our group because we know you're low key dumb.
Right.
So like we don't want you.
I did
there.
an experiment. I put all my students who don't do any work in a group. There's 5 of them. So it worked out perfectly. Everybody else was happy as hell in their group. They didn't have any of the 5. Now, usually I spread the 5 out throughout the groups.
And they know.
And that's how they get grades. I'm like, if I don't spread these 5 out in these other groups, these kids are going to fail.
They don't want
So I said, let me give the other kids a break and let them live their best life doing their projects. So I guess I put these 5 kids in their own little group. And, you know, like I said, all the other groups were just flourishing. I mean, they were flourishing. They were doing stuff I didn't even ask them to do. Like, they doing flip videos. I'm just like, I didn't even ask for this.
We got together and we felt like it was best.
Yeah. So, like, we did a commercial. Like, they're doing...
above.
They're
and
doing their work.
beyond.
Right.
Because they free.
Yes.
They're free.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So let me see if any of these kids in this group who do no work, and these are my kids who have 0s and 4s and 20s.
Those are the jocks.
So I thought the kid who had the 20, I was like, this is the one who's going to like.
Go shine. He's gonna be a leader. He's the dwarf among the midgets.
Right.
He knows.
So she did. She did. I was just like, so I know, I put him in a breakout room, and I was like, so what's going on in here? And so the girl is like, well, I don't know what they're doing. She had no problem saying this while they was in there. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm doing my part of this assignment. So as soon as they get their parts together, we can put it together. So I was like, okay, well, call me if you need me. I left. I was like, I'm
not getting in that.
She read y'all, and
Not getting in
left
that.
it at that. So,
And the
but
dynamic becomes very
it
interesting.
does.
Right?
It does.
like,
Because
hey.
usually she does not talk. She does not squeak. You can pinch her, and she probably just be like, no sound. She makes no sound. But to hear her say,
She was reading them from films. She was tired of their asses.
she was just like, I shared the document. Nobody's written on it yet. So I was just like, ooh, okay. So, it was an interesting experiment. So I was just like, you guys would literally, I said, this is why you have 2s, because if I didn't put you in groups with reliable students, you turn in no work. So I'm just like, and I'm like, one of my assignments was a Venn diagram. I told you. A
Yes.
Venn
Yes.
diagram. Easiest A you can get. They don't do it. So, yeah, that kid.
That's funny.
So yeah, the group assignments. We'll have to delve into that one deeper.
Yes, we do. You know what? I didn't even bring my pencil to write it down, but I'm gonna make a mental note of it because even as an adult, I hate group assignments.
Yeah.
It.
If it's too many people, anything more than 3 is pushing it for me. It's pushing it. If I have to work in a group, I'd rather just work with one person because you can just be as all right, this is what it is. But when you got that extra stowaway,
Yeah. The dyad versus the triad.
So
No.
so our next student, the one that sleeps all the time, who is just endlessly tired, endlessly tired, just
Tired.
like sleep so much to the point where the teacher just lets them sleep.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
even if they're awake, they're not doing any work.
Yep.
So you might
Yep.
as well just sleep and not bother me.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to let your kids sleep in the classroom.
No.
We have to send them to the nurse.
And the nurse get tired of seeing them too.
Yeah.
I think our nurse from our last district, she was an OG, like OG. The kids would come in there and she's like, "Are you bleeding?"
Yep, and I've heard her because I was in there. I would be in there because I had stuff to do. I was in there and I'd have the door closed and I'm like, all right, let's see what fun stuff's gonna come in here today. And she'd just be like, they'd be like, I'm bleeding. And she'd be like, it's the Band-Aid and the wipes. You see that table that you walk past?
Out there.
Go right back to that table.
Out. And the Band-Aids be from like 1970.
They crumble.
Like they're like yellow. The paper is yellow
crumble.
on the Band-Aid wrapper.
Right. So parents, please send your children to school with their own little Band-Aids and because.
Or like I as it relates.
But then
to,
she would be like, "Oh, well, just go wash your hands," and I'm like, "Okay, but there's no soap in the bathroom. 1 and 2, there's no hot water in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm cold washing my bleeding finger in cold, icy
Might as well
water,
just go ahead and put it in
then
now.
I can't dry my hands because there's never any paper towel. So I'm just
I'll just wipe it on
I
my
feel
shirt.
the kids on that one. Like, can I please have some warm water to wash my hands?
No, but that's how you end up, and I've seen it. Like they'll go to the water fountain and they'll just like wash their hands in a water fountain. It's like, oh.
Yeah, so that's messed up. We should.
It is, the water fountain is disgusting. I've seen this one girl, she was tonguing the hell out of the water fountain. And it's just like,
I've seen a roach crawl out of the water fountain.
Yes. And she like, we can't
First
get
of all,
into
keep
that.
your little hossidity behind over there.
This is before they made like the bottle ones, because they upgraded the water fountains in the school districts now. So before it was like the fountain, like the old school like colored, not colored one.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you want me to do? Hey, roach.
I hope that school not still open.
So our next student. Let's talk about the weird one.
No.
No,
It's
I mean,
like,
now mind you, I have met some children who I know for a fact are sociopaths. I know they are
100%.
sociopaths. And I mean sociopaths. Like, made me uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird one. And I don't mean weird like quirky. I mean
weird.
you gotta
Like
keep your
you
eye.
make me
Like, I would
uncomfortable.
not turn my back
No,
on that child.
I'm leaving my office door open.
They make a move. Hey, we going.
Like, everything they do. What's on the floor? What you drop? What's that? Let me see it. Open up your hand. Oh, all right. I have met. Put the pen down. Why do you have a pen? This is typing.
Yeah.
Put the pen away.
You will need that.
We're not
You
writing
don't need
nothing.
the pen. You
You're
don't
not
need
writing
the pen
nothing.
right now.
Yeah. What are you writing?
You don't
Put it
need
away.
that. You don't
Put
need
it away.
that.
Make a note in your Google Drive. Like, I have met some very questionable.
But you know what? I make friends with them.
Oh yes.
I make
Yes.
like I
I had a kid who the students called the school shooter.
Yeah. He was on my caseload. He was on my caseload. You talking about from
I've had in all my
girl.
districts, but I had one who
He was on my caseload.
I mean, they pretty much identified this child as, if anybody's gonna come up here and kill us,
It's gonna
be him.
And like security knew it. Everybody. And I sat in a meeting with him and his mom.
Are we talking about the one whose name begins with an A?
Oh, we talking about the one J, the one who begins with a J. But so
I mean, yeah.
So-
But you know the one I'm talking about, the one that begins with an A?
which one?
The one who would be staring at the girls and they'd be
Oh,
like,
he was on my caseload, but
Yes.
girl, no, he wasn't.
Even the girls
a
who be
shooter.
like, he always
wasn't a
staring
shooter.
at us.
He wasn't a shooter. He wasn't a shooter.
No, but he was.
He was very
He didn't make you uncomfortable.
interesting, and even with both of these kids was on my caseload. Even with him, I still like, hey, so what's going on?
Yeah.
And he would be in the nurse's office too, and the nurse was tired of him too. She was tired of him, but yes,
I told the kids that. I said, you know what?
Oh yes, I remember him.
Let me give you a word of advice.
I remember him.
Say hello
And keep it moving.
and say goodbye.
Keep
at
it
the
moving.
End of the day.
Yep.
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 Just be pleasant.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I'm not telling any of y'all got to work with them.
Nope.
I was like, but you will be surprised how much just a good morning
Will change everyone's life
Yes.
for the better.
For a student who is frequently ignored or talked about.
Yes.
So I was just
Yes.
like, because I say good morning
Eh,
faithfully.
Good morning. Hey.
How are you today?
Hey. How you doing?
What's
Like,
up?
I see the one with the J. I would see him, and sometimes he would just be like really mellow on the stairs, and I'm like, don't touch him.
No.
Don't touch
no,
him.
No,
Don't touch
no,
him.
we don't
It's
touch.
just like,
we don't touch.
hey, you doing all right? What's going on with you? Just checking in. I'm good. Like, okay, all right.
And
just
if you
making
could pull it
sure.
off just right, you can throw in a God bless. If you can pull it in just
Nope,
right.
didn't even do that. This one
I
didn't.
would. I'd be like, all right now. Okay, all right, God bless. I bet you he spoke to me every single day. Hi, Miss John. Hi, how are you today? I'm like, I'm good.
No.
No, you ain't sitting back there. Sit right up here,
Yeah,
right up
right in
front.
front.
You sit
You know
right,
where
yeah,
you
right
know where you
here.
sit at.
You ain't
Don't do
sitting in the
that.
back. You ain't sitting in no back ordering
from
no
behind
guns
that column.
and
Come from
grenades
behind
off the
that
internet.
column.
Nope.
No.
You sit right here.
No, but this one,
Sit right.
the other one, he was like a combat boots kind of wearer, and
So yeah.
but like his mom was just like, at his last school, they thought that he posed a threat, and I'm looking at her like, are you not getting the same vibe that everybody is getting?
Like somebody told you your kid poses a threat, and you're just like, I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Does he? No.
So, but like once you get to know, like some of them are so super. You ever seen Recess, the cartoon? You know Randall. Okay, so like, Bam, if you could do me a solid, I don't know how much time we have to Google Randall, but Randall from Recess is like the weird, like he looks like he would wear other people's skin, but like,
God.
yeah, like Randall was
Oh, wow.
Randall was super weird, and I've had a few Randalls on my caseload, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so fucking weird. It's like, how can I help you? Like, I just want to make this process as efficient and timely. Like, I'm not trying to leave in any extra. It's like, okay, like, hey, Miss Gore. How can I help you? What do you need? What's going on? What's up? Oh, I need. Okay, come. Can you come back during lunch or come back? You know what? Never mind. Come in right now. I'll stop what I'm doing. Randall, look, that's Randall.
Oh.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah, the weird kid is unsettling. You know when you have a weird kid. Unless you're weird too. I don't know. Like I don't see how anybody's parent can't notice when their child is off-putting.
Because it's love. They don't know. Like if
I love people in my family, and I know some of them. I'm like, you ain't staying here at night.
I mean, we all have some strange fruit.
Right, but you
in our family.
It. You acknowledge
but
that
if you're,
there's something there.
If you're a strange fruit, you don't see, like, I'm telling you.
Look, I'm like I said, I'm gonna miss some sociopaths, and I'm like, they are on the sociopath track.
But remember the one that no one expected to do what he did, and he took a life, and that was just so unexpected. Like in the district that I was in, unfortunately, like you come across, because these people, they went to school, they were educated, they have family members who love them, but they grow up to be.
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to grow up and be who they're going to be.
It's like,
I'm
what?
specifically talking about your child who, introvert, and it's nothing wrong with being an introvert, but just
about to say,
the things that they say are off-putting.
Well, then that's where,
like, you can't, but they ignore that. You should not be ignoring
to my people,
off-putting statements.
To my parents. Going back to A, and like, going back to A, like, I don't know if you had a parent conference with A.
No.
It's okay, no. So like that's not like okay.
Because
so,
I told him he better chill.
No, like if you.
I mean, if you want to get crazy.
No.
What I'm not gonna do is, like, I mean, just off. But even the girls are just like, he's always staring at us.
Something kind of spectacular.
Off-putting.
So with that, advocacy comes back into play again. So like having an advocate, or if you feel like your child may be an introvert, or there may be something present with them, especially now in the midst of the pandemic, like a lot of people in general are experiencing anxiety and depression, So with that, if your school has a school social worker or a teen center, I'm talking about from a high school group, people, or like for the elementary or middle school, if there is some program that is available for your kid to talk to somebody, let's have them talk and get it off.
Yep. Absolutely. But don't ignore statements that
trying to tell you. A's mom did not see a problem with A. So
then that says a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I said. So like, they must be off-putting themselves.
It's a lot of strange fruit that be,
I mean, strange trees grow strange
fruit.
So yeah. But if you or somebody is experiencing some sort of episodes, there are resources.
But
there are resources.
Can we talk about the student to which this podcast was all about?
Oh,
Type A.
The Type A.
Type A. So that's the student who like hyperventilates when they get like a B on their report card. The student
will send a billion gajillion emails to his teacher, to the principal, to the vice principal, to the counselors about what they can do.
Right. And chances are
for those 3 points.
And chances are the student's parent is a part of the board. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, oh, well, there's been an injustice towards my precious baby angel because they have like a 98 or like they have a 100 and they didn't get those extra points to bring it up to 105. Like, what?
I'm like, ma'am, I can't change the test. He got 18 out of 20 on the test. So that's why they have a 98 overall average.
Yeah.
Well, can they retake the test?
No.
Because that means I have to give it to everybody. And I'm not doing that. This is not y'all get to take the test over as many times as you want test class. If that was the case, it wouldn't have been so special, and I wouldn't have had you all close your books. And I'm like, oh, you will just keep taking it till you get 100.
Test.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Get over yourself. Get all the way over yourself, and then do it again.
Yeah, okay.
And then climb back
over,
and get over
under,
yourself.
and then back over again.
And through yourself, because that's not what it is. So
type
A. Then there's the middle kid. the one who just does what they need to do. And
That's it.
that's
Like
it.
you asked for an assignment. I
said,
gave you
answer the 4 questions in complete sentences.
those sentences were complete. Whether they were complete to your standard is a different story.
But it was a
hey,
complete
there's a
sentence.
Hello.
And I did my work.
and that's it.
And that's all.
So
And what can you say?
that's it.
That's all
I did it.
I did it, and I handed it in on time, and I'm not doing anything extra. You're not getting borders.
No.
You're not getting
No.
you're not getting all that pretty stuff.
This is not even coming in color. This is
So-
gonna be black and white.
And that's what it is. You said I did not have to do it in color.
Hey.
So I opted for black and white. And then
Boom.
that kid.
Boom.
And then you have the kid who just is taking up space in your classroom.
But everyone's entitled to a free and equal education.
Yes, they are.
So
Yes,
I'm gonna
they are.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this. So for my parents whose students, you guys, they made straight A's in the midst of a pandemic. I did some research yesterday after we got off the phone. So there are some organizations and like companies that are offering freebies to kids or teens who receive honor roll, like straight A's. So the website is gimmefreebies.com. I'm going to put the information on our page. So if you have a teen or a young adult, it has a whole list of organizations. Whether or not they participate is a different story. So like Dunkin' Donuts or like Krispy Kreme, if your kid has like straight A's, look up and see if the Krispy Kreme that's near you participates in that offer. So that's a great incentive.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
That's nice.
Right. So, all right, we've been given the signal and our time is up. So,
Thank you for being here with us.
inside the Teacher's Lounge here on Tappin' Radio.
Have a good night.
Bye.